Hello all! Now, we all remember that trend of multiplayer games like Among Us, Fall Guys, and Crab Game. So I'm going to follow this trend by making a multiplayer shooter. So, now I need to make a multiplayer game to follow the trend of course, but there's a problem. That requires networking code, which is a bunch of code that I don't actually know. So here's a tip that will blow all of your minds. Use a tutorial. That's exactly what I did. I found a very cool tutorial on a multiplayer shooter by RealTutsGML. So yeah, thanks for that, very cool tutorial. It definitely told me a lot. Thumbs up, yeah. And so I did the tutorial and yeah, it was pretty cool. So what makes this tutorial series so good is that it gives you all the basics for the game, but doesn't go any further than that, so then you'll have to add stuff onto it. I got the tutorial basically working, but there was one little bug where there was this dude on the, this player object that just spawned in on the top left of the screen, and I had no code to get rid of it, and instead of looking through the code for like 3 hours, I just moved it out of the screen. So when everyone's created, they start outside the screen, and then they get moved in, of course, yeah. Fixes the bug so much easier, because now in everyone's game, there's just a random player out in the back that no one controls. Oh, it's so good. This is something that I wouldn't advise, but as I was doing one of the tutorials, I added things that I wanted in the game, like blockers to stop people going out of the map, which I did twice because the first one didn't work. The color of the bullets was the color of the players, and you now have to place the IP port and username to start, so people on different computers can connect instead of how he did it. And all these additions are super easy because there's no networking code required. You'll see there's a trend in this game. It's that if no networking code, it's easy. If it's not, I'll spend 3 hours on it. So I'm glad these little fixes had no networking code. I also started getting the character chooser working, but like I said, it's harder than you would expect because it needs networking code. Now, as we're not even halfway through the video, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell and like the video to see more epic game videos like this. So I went on my epic journey to finish the annoying character selection the next day. And I kid you not, I thought it worked 3 times, but it didn't, and I had to do it multiple times. And I spent around 2 and 3 hours doing this dumb costume selector, which shouldn't be really that hard. And it turns out it wasn't working because I left a small line out of the code. There it is on the screen. It is so small and pathetic, but that cost me 3 hours of my life trying to look at why a dumb costume selector would not even work. Okay. The next day was basically art, and I actually did need some sort of a theme for this game to make it stand out, and as Christmas is getting close on the time of making the game, I decided I'll make it Christmas themed. So here it is, the game is called Christmas Brawl. Actually, this game is one of the only multiplayer Christmas shooters I'm able to find, because I searched it up and yeah, it seems to be no other shooter. If there is, well, yeah, let's move on. Forget about those games. Mine's the only one, yeah. So I made 2 backgrounds, one for the level, one for the title screen, and on the title screen, I added some epic floating characters using some code from a Reddit user called Damn, I don't know how to say it. It's out on the screen. So thanks to this epic code, it floats and it looks really cool. So I also made the buttons, costume selector, and player sprites using gradients. Now these sprites are too small to show you without them not looking pixely, so here's the bigger versions of them. We got a Santa hat, a Christmas tree, a star, a reindeer, a snowman, and a bauble. Very epic, right? Some epic characters you want to be there. Tell me in the comments which character you would want to play as in the Christmas Brawl. Okay, this game pretty stale, but more updates for the game on the next day, yes. So I made art for the gravestones and the golden gravestones, but mainly I worked on getting people to die once they were dead. That sentence is so bad, but basically what I'm trying to say is that the gravestone, so when you die, you have 5 lives. When you die, you become a gravestone for a bit and then come back. When you lose all your lives, then you become a golden gravestone. Pretty easy, right? Because the whole plan of this first game was going to be a kill count system, but I decided to do lives instead because it was much easier. You don't have to do any hard stuff. Yeah. The next exciting feature was winning. Very exciting, right? Every game needs it, but it's a very exciting and hard thing to get done, it turns out. So I tried getting that once everyone died, except for one, they would all be taken to a screen, which said the winner, and then reset the game. There was a problem with this, is because, yeah, you had to shoot the dead gravestones another time to get that winning screen to happen. Also, this was a harder than expected getting the winning screen as well, because it took a bunch of time because of the networking code. There's a bunch of it. I did do other small changes like adding some debugging on the server and making the shoot have a cooldown. But other than that, the whole day was just spent on doing winning, which was very annoying. How I did get this working was that the return function I was using only works if it was in a script. So then I moved the code to a script and it actually worked. It was such a great moment for me. It was so epic. And yeah, it works. That was great. So important tip for making games is to know what the code that you're using does. Okay, I want this game out by Christmas, as it is Christmas themed. And unfortunately, yeah, it's Christmas Eve right now, so this is either gonna be horrible to play or very basic. When all hope was lost, I came up with 3 great ideas that I could easily implement, and they would change the game forever to be a much funner experience. The epic ideas were a dash. Basically, when you have a timer and then you can dash, and then you move fast, and then you slow down, and then you can't do the dash for a while, and then you can do the dash after it reloads. This shouldn't need any multiplayer functions, which makes it super easy. Actually, all these don't need much multiplayer functions, because they're all client-based, so that's nice. The second one is you can't see other players through walls is the second one, and yeah, this one is basically pretty simple. When I added walls, there'll be, if you go behind a wall, you won't be able to see the other player, which will make it all like stealthy and stuff, which will be pretty cool. And the super shot, so when the middle mouse button is clicked, it sets off an alarm 3 times, which calls the shoot command 3 times, making a more damaging move, which is pretty epic. Very epic ideas are here, I know, they're really epic, and they're easy to implement because, you know, no multiplayer functions or networking code. I also spent some time trying to add walls, but failed horribly. So yeah, with all those epic features plus some sounds from SFXR, I ran out of time and had a working-ish game. I played it a bit and it was a bit of fun, but still a bunch of work needs to go into it. But this video is right now way too long, so expect a part 2 shortly. Thanks for watching, bye.